Okay, we're going to try something a little bit different today in these videos. I'm going to kind of go through what race sequence is like, some of the things I go through when I'm racing, just kind of talking through a race, maybe a little bit of what I'm looking for. Right now we're in hot laps, which is basically, you kind of consider it a time trial. Basically, what they're doing is ramping up the speed. You're going to have cars entering and exiting the track. It's a low speed entry with the yellow. Now, what you'll see here is your first chance at getting an idea how the track's going to start out. So, as the night wears on, unless they run the water truck out, this track will slowly start drying out. This is a fresh track. You can kind of see that in the dirt. You'll notice in turn 2, which you just passed, there's a start of a rut. Those are the things that you're going to look for in your hot laps. This will give you an indication of what your night's going to be like. It's only an indication because the track changes throughout the night, and it gets slicker. It'll dry out. Ruts will form. The bigger cars, because we're just in a little Hornet class, they're going to start digging things out. They'll crown the pillow, which is that outside edge of the track. They'll do all kinds of stuff to this track as it goes on. And it'll get rougher in some places, it'll smooth out in others. And you can see that rut, he just hit it again. This is my brother, in his hot laps trying to analyze what's going on. And he's just going all out. This is a great time for him to learn those things. Now they're going to start ramping down. The hot laps are over, and he'll eventually exit the track here on turn 1. So what does this tell you? Well, it tells you how the initial track setup is. How well did your car do? Where the trouble spots might start to form, and so hot laps is just an indicator. Alright, we're going into our heat race, and if they did time trials, so it's a combination of your pill draw and hot lap time positions you in the heat race most nights. Sometimes they're too busy, they can't fit that in, it's just straight pill draw. Now what is happening here is the cars are starting to get lined up. It's a yellow entry. Don't be like the kid in front of my brother. You're not heating any tires up. There's no reason to weave back and forth. You're not doing anything. You're just making a distraction. The other game that you'll see in lineups is brake checks. Don't do that either. It's ridiculous. That car is tighter than a $2 watch in front of him. It's gonna dominate the track. You can already tell. It's really light. It's got a engine somebody spent a bunch of money on, and that's fine. You're gonna find that in racing. This is an entry-level class. You can spend as much as you want. So we're going up into the lights out. You can see at the end of the track, we'll be in green racing. They'll probably have some ramp up. And when they get to the tire, that's the start line of the race, everybody will take off. So the takeoff will happen here in a second. And this kind of sorts out the race. Now, this is one of the first races of the season, so my brother's, just starting to get warmed up. Now, pay attention to that black car. That black car is going to cause its own wreck. And this brings up a great topic. Bumper fixation and not paying attention to your spatial awareness. It's really hard because we're racing really hard. But you're going to see a wreck here that's because the car didn't keep its lane. It didn't keep its line. There it goes. And you know why that happened? It's because they thought they had already passed the white sheet metal car that was behind them. And they thought, oh, I can take the high line, because usually you do in a front-wheel drive car. You want to take the high line. If you get stuck down below, you got to have the momentum on these little cars to overtake. And so there's driving technique beyond my skills so far yet to keep that momentum up. Pedal control is extremely important. We're going to have a yellow here until that car's towed off. So tow truck come out, grab that black car. I think its night was over. If we see it again in the feature race, we'll know more then. But I'm pretty sure that night's over for that guy. It actually flew through the air. I actually watched this again a couple of times to see what happened. So let's talk about this yellow. Yellow is a time, if you're not doing so great, to make up those distances. Okay, so what am I saying? So when we go back into green flag racing, that's your time to tighten up any distances, because you're supposed to get nose to tail again, right? And don't give much distance between the guy that's in front of you or gal that's in front of you, because you want to be on them. That's just less distance that you have to make up. So I'm going to cut out a sequence here where it goes to a temporary red, and we'll get back to lights out again and racing. So here it comes. They're going to probably stop here in a second, and we'll return to lineup. Now right here, he's trying to get nose to tail. They're going to start pacing up, and during a pace up, you don't want any space. You want that as tight as possible, because you don't want to make up that room. So he should get right up on that car's tail right now, and as soon as that green hits, they're gonna go. He needs to make this up. So here we go, green. Now he's at the tail end. The advantage that he's going to try and take advantage of is pedal control and momentum. What do I mean by pedal control and momentum? So you don't want to be applying on and off power like crazy. That's not efficient. You also see where now my brother's got pretty decent pedal control, right? He knows that momentum's going to carry him through that turn, right? So he'll let off because the car will push. Front wheel drives will push. And we'll just go through and just kind of keep watching here. Now you can tell that the car in front of my brother, he's sliding a bit. That's fine. Again, you don't want bumper fixation. He should try and look as far over as he can. Now this track's difficult in the sense that some of these turns are sharper than others. So each turn has a different personality, and learning your local track is super important, because if you learn your local track, like turn 4 right here, my brother's actually hit the wall in turn 4, and it was recent, and it's terrible when you hit a wall, because the car's just mangled. So knowing turn 4 is a dangerous turn, I try not to get up into the pillow there. You can see that becomes really close on the straightaway at the end of turn 4. And I've seen car after car hit the wall there. Now the other thing that I try to do as best I can when I'm racing is listen to the engine. I'm not looking down at my cluster. I don't have time for that. I'm just trying to go as fast as my car will go. But what I can do when I'm racing is listen to the peak power RPM. When you hear it at that upper RPM, that is your peak power. And, there's a difference between traction available, traction you're using to turn, and traction that you're trying to use for acceleration. And you're trying to balance that, right? And you can kind of feel when the car is at its peak power band, where you make a turn, the wheel will feel a certain way, right? Because it's trying to go one direction, you're trying to go the other. Sometimes in a heat race, a bunch of drivers and cars get ahead of you, your fellow racers. Those leftover racers are promptly lined up for another race. If you have this problem, it's your fault. You've been relegated to the B main. Well, congratulations. You're in the feature. You weren't relegated to the B main. My brother made the feature this night. We're in the chute right now, going out on the track. Sometimes you can't get in position in the chute. A lot of times they try to get you there. If that's not the case, or you're late getting to the chute, I've had that happen where they send us right back out. Memorizing your car position and what cars are around you is super important. I'm not going to tell you to be aggressive, but be assertive with your position. Nobody's going to tell you, hey, you're out of position if you're near the back end of the track. You just need to take the spot if you know that's yours. What's the worst going to happen? The people up on the stand's going to yell at you? Fine, whatever. That's what the receiver's for. But don't lose your position. That's just more ground that you have to make up. And I've been in this place. I've made this mistake as a rookie of not being assertive with my car positioning in the features. So if you're in one of the features, that's your spot. You need to take it. You earned that. You worked for that. So don't ever give that up. They don't necessarily care once 10th place and beyond, up on the, in the officiating stands. So don't count on them to care, all right? They'll care if you do something you're not supposed to do. But unless that happens, hey, you need to take the spot that you earned. So I guess that's my 2 cents. Another thing that I learned when I was racing was, again, spatial awareness right there. If you hit the pillow like my brother did in turn 2, you lose a ton of speed. That really hurt him. Unfortunately, that happens sometimes. It's actually the safest part of the track to go off the track. I've done it. I know numerous other people have done it. And you can see that rut in turn 2 has opened up. That happened because a lot of the modifieds would hit that, and the street stocks and super stocks, they dug that out. And you knew at the beginning when I talked about that, initial track conditions in the heat, both the hot laps and the heat race, I knew that was going to be a problem coming into the B main. I was actually in the B main in this particular race, and I was actually pole position, and I was holding my own. And unfortunately, I hit that rut so hard that I broke all my suspension on the passenger side. So all of it was broken, knuckles broken, strut was bent, lost the tie rod, didn't finish the race. I should have been in this feature, right? Why did that happen? Well, again, positioning and being aware of where track hazards are. I kind of got forced into it, but I could have gone up onto the pillow and avoided it. But I was aggressive because I wanted to keep pole, and I hit it. I chose to hit it actually instead of hitting the 15 car. So this is beginner racing. There's a lot of teenagers, young people that are racing in this class. So that's my choice to not be aggressive in that manner, because I could have basically pushed the car out of my way, right, and risk a little damage to keep that position. My brother and I have chosen not to do those kinds of things. We'll accede a position if it means that I'm not going to hit you. I know rubbing is racing or whatever, and that's fine. There's a little bit of that, but I'm not going to risk a teenager over, hitting them. I'd rather fix my car. I'm sorry. So, enough of that rant. Let's get back to the race here. They went into a yellow, coming out of that yellow. We're lining up again here. Again, nose to tail. You can see that my brother's back in the pack. He needs to get that as tight as possible because we're hitting green in just a couple seconds. I mean, they're not going to stop, right? They're going to go. And I will tell you, if you're a fan of dirt track racing, some of the best racing is not necessarily at the front of the pack. Yeah, it's exciting to see who's winning, but I encourage you to take the time to see what's going on in lap traffic, in the pack traffic. A lot of times that's 3 across. We're duking it out. The cars that are all equal will all be in that center traffic. And some of the best racing to be had is in that center area. So if you like close driving, you like seeing people stack 3 across, check out the mid-pack traffic, because that's where that action's gonna most likely be. Sometimes you'll see it in the leaders. You'll get 3 really fast cars, and they'll all be changing position. That's really cool as well. So, you know, if you just know that somebody's just dominating a race, stop paying attention to the leader at that point. Check out the backpack. There's a lot of good racing that goes on. These videos just prove that there's some really interesting things that happen. A lot of times we're driving just really close in the mid-pack traffic. You can see there my brother got really high up on the wall, and that is really dangerous. I mean, that happens. There's not much of a pillow there. It's just a little bit and then the wall. So again, you know, I'm kind of leery of turn 4. It's one of the tightest turns as well. So we've had a few yellows in this. Yeah, there's 15. Okay. Brad missed him, just barely. Now, I will say the kid that drives that car, he's gotten much better. He's learning. You know, that's the thing. They're all learning out here. And, you know, they're just learning how to keep their car under control at first, right? They're going as fast as they think they can go. And they don't know how to hold a line yet. Nobody knows when you first get out there. Now, this is his, I think, 2nd year, that kid. So he knows a little bit better. But you can tell that his car's got a little bit more power this year. But I know right now he's racing pretty good. So, you know, when we all get out in the first, you know, couple of races for the season, everybody's a little rusty, right? My brother got faster after this. Like, he got really fast. So, you know, it's just a matter of seat time, experience. You know, we don't race all year round. So anyways, hopefully this commentary is at least a little bit fun. You get to hear a little bit of the background of, you know, why things happen. I really thank you for watching the video and just allowing me to share this with you. Thank you.